What's good, guys? This is Fuad, and if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I got a bunch of airplanes in this room. I love building a lot of airplanes. As you can see, I've got a bunch right behind me, and if I move over to this side, I still have a lot more. Basically, this room is entirely filled with airplanes, and my wife is right there. She's painting the sea duct, and that sea duct also needs a space to go in this room. So I'm gonna be building a little rack to store these airplanes. Of course, the ones that I see on the wall, that's gonna be there. But I'm thinking about building a little rack right here. And of course, there are some planes over there that I'm gonna be removing them and basically storing them somewhere else. And let's get to work. I got my supplies right here. And as you can see, I also have the FT Explorer and the FT Corsair, the Warbird, and looking for a space to go as well. So without further ado, let's get back to work. Yeah, so I made the terrible mistake of actually hot gluing this directly onto the wall, and you can see it really destroys the paint. So whatever you do, never glue them directly on the walls. It really destroys them, and it's not gonna happen from now on. So I went ahead and measured the height of my wall. I can't go any further than that step towards the ceiling. So you would have to do a bit of homework before you run towards the hardware store. And I noticed that my height wouldn't exceed more than 8 feet. So depending on how big you want your rack to be, I want it to completely cover the wall and not have any space up front. So now let's go over what you need to build this RC airplane rack. I'm gonna use CPVC pipes. They are 3/4 of an inch in diameter. I'm using these 30-inch long pipes to be the little arms of this rack, and I have 12 of them. You need 13-inch pipes. I got 10 of these. These are gonna be the vertical gaps of the rack. Some spacers, 4 inches. Very important, you need these T connectors. I got 12 of them. And these elbow connectors, 4 pieces of them. Now, I didn't just randomly choose these dimensions. You need to be careful about the size of airplanes that you have. So if you're also working with flight test planes like myself, here I got the Sky Surfer, the FT Explorer. These 13-inch pipes are measured 13 inches because I'm measuring the vertical gaps between the racks. So I went ahead and measured that the tail of the FT Explorer would not exceed beyond 13 inches. So 13 is like a good barrier, good margin for me to avoid the collisions between the aircrafts. So you could go smaller if you're building some smaller versions like the Versa Wing, the FT Duster, you know, like the Bloody Baron, for example. Those are a little smaller in size. But if you're also making these medium scale planes, you can literally follow exactly what I'm doing and you should be good. And the reason why these arms are 30 inches long, it's because you want to measure towards the end of the tail, towards the front of the wing, which is typically where the CG is. It needs to cover at least the leading edge of the wing. That's how you know these airplanes are gonna sit. And if you also check with the Corsair, for example, I can see that this is pretty much long enough, covers towards the wing. So if it goes behind the wing, the airplane might trip and fall. So if your airplanes are also scale, like this medium Corsair, the FT Explorer, or even that Sea Duck, you can basically follow my dimensions. The process is very straightforward. I'm gonna take one of the arms and the little T connector, and I'm gonna hook this arm onto the base of the T, so right here. Make sure you get a nice and tight fitting because it's gonna carry the weight of your airplanes and you really want this to be a nice fit. On these 2 gaps, we're gonna take the spacers, the 13-inch spacers, and I'm just gonna hook these as well. Do the same on the other side. And we want to continue this on all the way towards the end. So this side is done. It's basically gonna stand up like so. You want to repeat on the other side, but before we do that, we actually want to build a little base for this rack. So I'm going to take the 4-inch PVC pipes, the spacers, and I'm going to hook it on towards the very end of this little pipe. Now I'm going to take an elbow connector and face it towards this way so it's perpendicular towards the arms. I also forgot to mention that you need 2 more pipes. These measure 10 inches long, and it's basically going to sit right here. One's going to be right here, and the other is going to go towards the very top. From this point on, I'm going to take one of the other elbow connectors, stick it on like so. Then take my little 4-inch spacer once again. And simply gonna repeat like you see on the other side. So the T connector goes here, and then your 30-inch arms, then your little 13-inch pipe. So the structure is basically ready, but we want to make sure this is really nice and rigid. You could apply some glue and stick them on, but I think this is incredibly strong just the way it is. And considering that I'm just going to be hanging some foam planes without really too many electronics, it should be able to hold around 1.5 to 2 kgs quite easily. So shouldn't be a problem. If you do have a hammer, I suggest you can try to make these little connections even harder. Good afternoon from day 2 of this project. As you can see, I let the paint dry overnight. It turned out to be pretty good. I only prioritized the backside of the rack and didn't really paint the poles because I'm going to be adding some of this foam insulation and just going to add that little foam covering to help protect from damaging the planes, the under camber of the wings as they rest on top. So I've taken a piece that measures 24 inches and it's just under the length of the arms. And I'm just gonna use this as a reference to cut out the remaining of my insulation. I'm just gonna use a pair of scissors to have a nice straight cut. And all we're gonna do is to just slide that inside. Nice thing about these insulations, you can actually stretch them to be a little bigger. So I was thinking it's just cut out a little short, but you can actually stretch and get this straight. If you don't have this material, you don't have to worry too much. If you're just hanging regular foam planes without electronics, of course, if you're just hanging them for the show, just hanging them for storage, because if you add the electronics, they're gonna get heavy and it might damage the under camber of the wing. But I still think it's not a big issue if you don't have this. I'm now going to mount this entire rack onto the wall, and to mount it, I'm going to be using this little wall bracket. It's got the little width of the PVC pipe so that I can actually snug it inside and use a hammer to punch this little pin. So I've used these 2 wall brackets to hold the entire rack, and I also decided to add a bit more at the base just for it to help with the support of the weight. I added one and I'll have to add one towards the left. And I'm also thinking of adding 2 more to the sides just so that they don't wiggle around. So guys, the rack is basically complete. It took me a while to attach those wall brackets because the ladder that I have is basically a little wobbly. But anyway, you can hang these medium-sized planes. Just need to keep in mind that when you do have planes that are a little heavier in weight, for example, the FT Explorer that I have, it currently has a battery installed, and most of these planes don't really have batteries right now. The electronics are there for most of them, like the servos and the motors. But if you do have heavier planes, I suggest you put it, forward facing. That's how you're gonna avoid the unnecessary torque. So it's as easy as sliding it in. So most of the weight is actually towards the joint. And if I were to do it the other way, you would have that bit of a slant, but it's not really an issue. You can just use one of these planes. Got the C-duct right here. You can fly it. When you're done flying, all you gotta do is just put it back in. You can see it's causing a little bit of torque, so I'll just put it back the other way. But yeah, this thing rocks. You can really utilize the vertical height. You can even place these planes in a sideways direction like that, because the Bushwhacker, in my case, has those little vertical stabilizers that kind of get in the way of the arms. So if you have a bunch of foam airplanes laying around in the house, do give this project a go. Really amplifies the look of your workshop. I hope you have a fantastic time. Do give this project a go. Let me know in the comments how your experience was. Subscribe for more, leave a like if you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.